I guess it's that time. I wasn't gonna video any of this. I was just gonna knock it out. But I figured why not go ahead and take you guys at least along for a little bit of the ride, because I haven't been videoing a lot lately. So what are we doing here? Well, we're about to epoxy the floors. But for right now, all we're gonna do is half, because obviously I've got a bunch of stuff over here that when this dries up, we're gonna move everything over. Now, I'm not using the Rust-Oleum epoxy shield. I think that's what most everybody uses. I'm using the Rock Solid, Rust-Oleum Rock Solid. It's supposed to be better. Guys, I can't hardly find any information or reviews on this stuff, so I guess we're gonna find out. I'm gonna go ahead and knock this stuff out. I might come in after I like do a coat or something like that and show you guys, but it'll be tomorrow before I come out here and actually start to paint anything, because obviously all this has got to be cleaned up. We're etching right now. Also, we got us a new heater, so we can now really put some heat on everything and hopefully dry this concrete out pretty good. Now, it's cold down south. I know a lot of you are thinking, no, it's not cold, but yeah, it is pretty cold. It's like in the high 20s, I think. It's freaking cold down here. It's damp, it's humid. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, catch you guys then. This is so hard to work with. This stuff it's great. It looks good, but man, is it hard to work with. This stuff is so thick, and I wasn't sure exactly how I was gonna do it to start with, like how much it was gonna take, but let me go ahead and give you guys some visual reference here. Basically, each one of these bays are 10 feet apart, okay? So that's 10 feet, that's 10 feet, and then that other cut down there past the lift is 10 feet. This thing's 30 feet long, and at least that's a rough estimate for you. This thing will do a 15 by 10 spot. Like each bag does one bay. In other words, one cut right here. It took me 3 bags to do this. About $350 just to do this section right here. And to be completely honest with you, the middle bay needs a little bit more. Now, down at the back there, we went ahead and poured it to it because we had a bunch of extra left over. And we're like, well, you know, that's at least where the car comes in. It really needed to be heavier in the center up there, because that's where, you know, any fluids are gonna drip from the car, stuff like that. But it is what it is. I've learned from my experience. Next time, we're gonna go really heavy on this bay over here. I've got 1 bag left. So that means that I've gotta buy another box. If you buy the 2.5 car box, it doesn't really do a 2.5 bay. The problem is it's so thick you can't move it around. Like, that's where you start to run into issues. Now, this is different, like I said, than the epoxy shield. The epoxy shield is a little thinner. It's gonna be a little easier to work with. Not this stuff right here. You don't put this in a paint bucket or in a paint pan and be able to kind of just paint it on. It doesn't work that way. You really have to just pour this stuff on and almost like let it self-level. Anyway, sorry guys. I know you wanted to see some video of me doing this. I got so frustrated. I was ready to throw in a towel and it took me an hour and a half just to not even make it to the lift yet, but to get up in that section right there, it took me almost an hour and a half because I was trying to figure out how to work it. Temperature wise today, because I know some of you might want to know, it's about 58 degrees right now. So this stuff should be within its operating temperature. Its range, like I said before, is from 40 to I think 90 or 120, something like that. So this should be fine. It's just really, really thick. I did bring the heater in here, and as it would heat up, it would start to flow out a little bit better. But basically, guys, it's just epoxy. If you've ever used a 2-part epoxy, like for the countertops like I used over here, it's essentially the same thing as that. It's really thick and it's really hard to work with. It's gonna look good on camera at least, and also it'll make cleanup a lot easier. So when we get to 65 over here, we'll be able to, you know, make a mess and then just sweep it up, mop it up, stuff like that. And the walls are taped off, guys. I just have to pull the tape off. So okay guys, here is your 30-something hour update on the floor. And as you can see, we are walking on it. Seems to have dried up pretty good. So like I said, it's been like, I finished up yesterday at like 2 o'clock, and it's, I don't even know what time it is. So yeah, it's right around 30 hours. It took this floor to dry up enough to, you know, walk on it and be able to kind of put stuff. It's not sticky or anything like that. Yeah, nothing sticky here, but We do have some discoloration going on, and I think that's due to the fact, like I said before, that the floor was wet, or damp, I should say, but it's fine. Guys, it's gonna get all scratched up anyway. I was worried that I wasn't gonna be able to get like the speckles right and stuff like that. You know, it wasn't gonna look right. I've never done one of these floors before. And guys, it's super easy. It's gonna get scratched up anyway, right? So it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. This lift goes all the way down. This arm touches over here on the side, so it's gonna scratch the floor and everything else. But I will say this is probably the hardest floor that like I've come across yet. I mean, guys, check it out. Yeah, it's not a perfect mirror, but look at that. Guys, I think this is gonna be perfect. But one thing I wanna say, a painted floor is not the be all end all. An epoxy floor, painted floor, I don't care what you call it or whatever. Any type of coating other than the concrete itself, it does bring up some obstacles. And this is what I'm trying to say here. With this floor over here, yes, it's dingy. It doesn't look the best, but the good thing about it is it's raw concrete. It's pretty easy to keep up. You can literally come in here with some kitty litter, grind your foot into the oil stain, sweep it up, and it's pretty much gonna look just like this. You see, it's already discolored anyway. All concrete pretty much is gonna look like this. It's gonna have swirls in different spots in it. So it's honestly pretty easy to maintain. I mean, yes, you're gonna get some dark oil spots that you just can't get up, but this has its own set of issues as well. You are going to scratch this floor at some point. It's just gonna happen. And when you do, you're not gonna go buy some touch-up paint. This stuff is like $220 basically for a box of it. I can't speak for chemical resistance and stuff like that, but I do suspect if you drop gas on this floor and you let it sit in a puddle, it's probably gonna eat it up, or it's gonna at least make it soft, tacky, something, right? Another thing to think about are these tables over here. Whenever I went to move everything out, I just grabbed the tables and dragged them across the floor. You're not gonna mess up this raw concrete. You're just not. There's nothing you can really do to hurt it. I would not recommend doing that with this. So it does change things. All the stuff you used to drag across the floor and not worry about, you're gonna worry about it now for sure. So guys, let me know down below when I do the other side, do you want to see me paint it? Do you wanna see the process that I use? That's a time consuming video, guys. That's a lot of time lapse and a lot of stuff because I mean, you work on this for 8 hours probably to get everything right, so it takes a while. One thing I want to leave you with, make sure your floor is completely clean underneath or you're going to get spots like that. Luckily, it's only in the edges. It's not anywhere out here.
It's messy.
It's not messy.
See?
It's clean, baby. The garage is clean now.
See?
You want to see? You can't see yet. Daddy's videoing. All right, guys, so real quick, I actually had a subscriber ask, what did I use to epoxy my countertops? Now guys, this is no professional job or anything like that, but I'm willing to share with you guys if you're interested in how I did it. So this is what I used. You can pick this stuff up off Amazon. This one's all squished up, but you can read right here. So I picked it up on Amazon. I'll tell you what, I'll put an affiliate link down below. If you guys would like to do your tables, you can pick this up. Pretty much any of this 1-to-1 ratio epoxy will work. And all you do is just mix it up 1-to-1, so half and half if you will, and then pour it on the countertop. One thing that I will tell you on this epoxy, if you're gonna use it, is try to do it when it's somewhat warm, like 60 degrees or above. You can use it colder, but it's gonna be super thick. It's gonna be kind of hard to work with. But how I did this is literally just mix it up and pour it on the table, and then take a short nap roller and just roll it on and just kind of smear it in. Pour some again, do the same thing. And the best thing to do is come in with a heat gun, something like that maybe, and just run the heat gun over the top of the table and you'll watch the stuff just flow out so nicely. Like I said, if it's already hot outside, summertime, something like that, you won't even have to do that. But this is what I used. So this is more than enough to probably do like 5-6 tables probably with this. It's not messy. Why you keep saying my shop's messy?
It's messy.
But it's clean.
It's clean.
Yeah, it's clean. I think some of the people are confused on how I did this. I did not create a border on my table and pour it in like that. That's not what this is. It's not that thick. This is only a millimeter or so thick. I literally just poured it all over the table. and then came in, like I said, smeared it out, made sure it was good and thick, and that's it. That's all I did. I actually had to redo this table. Remember when I had the head to the Calypso sitting up here? Yeah, I sprayed some brake cleaner on it, and it just sat and sat and sat underneath the boards that were here. The brake cleaner soaked in, and it actually ate up the epoxy. So all I did was just sand it down. You can still see the wood there, and come back with another coat of epoxy over the top of it. So it's really easy to fix if you do have a mess up, something like that. So I do recommend this epoxy. So like I said, it's a little aggravating to work with in the wintertime, but if you got yourself a heater or something like that, you can also give it like a hot bath. You can take those jugs, make sure they're sealed up good, put them down in some hot water, loosen everything up, make it a little easier to work with. All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up.
Bye.
Say see you later.
I will.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up, and as always, thanks for watching.